you. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
MotoGP has always created gods. In 2008 and 2009, when the documentary Fastest tried to explain this sport to the world, the story had only one center of gravity: Valentino Rossi. No Marc Márquez, no social media wars, no contract leaks, just Rossi. He was not only winning races, he was the identity of MotoGP itself. And standing next to him in the factory Yamaha garage was a young rider who had not even won a MotoGP championship yet: Jorge Lorenzo. When asked about racing alongside a living legend, Lorenzo did not bow to the mythology. He said something that sounded almost disrespectful in that era. He is not a god. He can be beaten. That was not marketing. That was mentality. Because Lorenzo understood something very early. MotoGP does not care about reputation. It only respects lap time under pressure. What happened next proved it. While Rossi's career stalled after leaving Yamaha, Lorenzo stayed and conquered. 2010, 2012, 2015, 3 MotoGP championships, all with Yamaha, all inside the same factory where Rossi once ruled unchallenged. Not because the room loved him more, but because he learned how to survive and win inside heavyweight political environments. That experience matters now. Because the man standing next to Maverick Viñales today is not just a retired champion offering friendly advice. He is someone who knows exactly how to train a rider to stop respecting reputations. And Maverick Viñales? He is not chasing applause anymore. He is preparing for war while the paddock is distracted. MotoGP is ruthless with timing. Arrive too early and you burn. Peak too late and you vanish. Maverick Viñales arrived with terrifying natural speed. Suzuki saw it first. Pure pace, fearless corner entry, world champion potential written all over him. Then Yamaha took him. On paper, it was perfect. Smooth bike, precision riding style, a system built for rhythm and consistency. And for a while, it worked. Poles, victories, championship contention. But MotoGP does not reward comfort. It rewards adaptability under pain. When the bike stopped giving front confidence, Viñales did not fight the machine. He questioned it. And in MotoGP, doubt spreads faster than any technical problem. Engine complaints, setup conflicts, trust erosion. Then came 2021, not just a bad season, a complete breakdown of relationship between rider and factory. Yamaha felt betrayed. Viñales felt abandoned, mid-season separation, public humiliation, and the paddock labeled him instantly: sensitive, difficult, fast but fragile. So he went to Aprilia. At the time, it looked like exile, a rebuilding project, a midfield bike, a long road back to relevance. But Aprilia was not building quietly. They were building aggressively. Heavy front end, strong braking stability, a bike that rewards riders who attack, not wait. Slowly, the fit started to appear. Podiums, poles, wins, not consistently, but explosively. And that is where MotoGP made its second mistake, because this paddock is addicted to consistency metrics. If you are not on the podium every weekend, the conversation moves on. While attention shifted to new stars, Viñales was rebuilding something far more important than results: his mentality. And now comes the part that changes the entire story. Because rebuilding alone is one thing. Rebuilding with someone who understands your exact war is something else entirely. Jorge Lorenzo does not choose projects for fun. He chooses them for unfinished business. His history with Yamaha is complicated. Yes, there were championships. Yes, there were dominant seasons. But there was also a lifetime of feeling like the secondary story inside someone else's mythology. After the 2015 season, after surviving the political storm of Rossi versus Márquez, after winning his 3rd MotoGP title, Lorenzo did not feel celebrated. He felt tolerated, so he left. Not because he stopped loving Yamaha, but because he stopped trusting the room. And Maverick Viñales understands that feeling better than anyone. Yamaha did not just let him go. They cut him loose mid-season, publicly. So when these two riders stand together now, this is not coincidence. This is alignment, shared history, shared wounds, shared motivation. Watch their training footage. No circus, no fan service, just repetition, physical conditioning, reaction drills, bike control sessions, mental focus training. This is not stay fit training. This is championship level preparation. And here is the first major retention shock that most fans are missing. Multiple riders from different generations have said the same thing privately. If there is one rider on the grid whose raw riding skill can match Marc Márquez when conditions are perfect, it is not Pecco, it is not Bezzecchi, it is not Martin, it is Viñales. Late braking, corner entry precision, mid-corner stability, tire preservation while riding aggressively. Technically, he has everything. What he has lacked is not ability. It is conversion under imperfect conditions. And that is exactly what Lorenzo specialized in. Because Lorenzo's entire career was built on discipline under pressure. Same lines, same braking points, same rhythm until the opponent breaks. That routine discipline is not natural to Viñales, but it can be taught. And suddenly, the story stops being about talent. It becomes about transformation. Then Qatar 2025 happened. Nobody expected KTM to be anywhere near the front. 2024 was Ducati territory. Factory Ducati, VR46, Gresini. That was the assumed podium discussion. KTM was not in the script. And yet, there was Viñales, not surviving, not managing, fighting at the front, running real race pace, finishing second on the road. Then MotoGP erased it on paper. Tire pressure penalty, position stripped, podium gone. But penalties do not erase reality. You cannot fake race pace for 20 laps in MotoGP. Viñales did not sneak into the top group. He stayed there, on a bike nobody believed in. And that quietly changed the tone of the season, even if the headlines ignored it. Because it proved something critical. Viñales can adapt. Viñales can lead development. Viñales can fight when the bike is not dominant. Then came Jerez. While cameras focused on Alex Marquez and Quartararo's defense against Pecco, Viñales was locked onto Pecco Bagnaia's rear wheel. 0.3, 0.4. That is not comfort riding. That is pressure riding. And when he crashed, it did not erase the message. It confirmed it. He was not surviving on strategy. He was competing on speed. If he finishes that race, there is a serious argument he fights for that podium. And suddenly the championship narrative looks different. Because if those performances convert, Viñales is not behind Pedro Acosta. He is ahead of him. And that is the part nobody is comfortable discussing. Because Acosta is the future product. Viñales is the inconvenient present. MotoGP does not forgive riders who mature outside the spotlight. It forgets them. While Viñales has been rebuilding, the market has moved on. Factories are planning for 2027. Contracts are shaped 2 years in advance. Seats are whispered before riders feel the danger. Honda is preparing financial nuclear options. Yamaha is betting everything on a V4 rescue project. KTM is fighting internal pressure. Ducati is powerful but politically crowded. And the obsession is Pedro Acosta. Young, fearless, marketable. Every rumor circle ends with Ducati somewhere in the sentence. And in all of that, Viñales is invisible. Which is exactly how MotoGP kills careers. Not with crashes, with silence. So here's the brutal truth. 2026 is not a comeback season for Maverick Viñales. It is a survival season. If he does not make himself impossible to ignore, he becomes irrelevant permanently. That is why the Lorenzo partnership matters more than training videos. This is not fitness. This is perception warfare. Because paddock respect does not come from Instagram. It comes from humiliating someone on track. It comes from beating riders the market is obsessed with. And this is where the Rocky comparison stops being poetic and becomes accurate. In Rocky 3, the champion loses hunger, gets comfortable, forgets what made him dangerous. Then someone reminds him how to fight again. That mentor does not give new talent. He gives controlled rage. Lorenzo is not teaching Viñales how to ride. He is teaching him how to stay aggressive when the bike does not feel perfect. That has always been Viñales' weakness. When comfort disappears, confidence collapses. If that changes, MotoGP has a problem. Because the grid is full of riders who expect Viñales to fade when things get ugly. What if he doesn't anymore? What if the calm rider learns how to stay violent? Now the story meets engineering reality. KTM is not the slowest bike on the grid. In fact, in pure top speed metrics, KTM has been among the fastest machines in MotoGP. Not Ducati, KTM. The problem has never been straight line speed. The problem has been consistency and tire management over race distance. And this is where the comparison between Acosta and Viñales becomes uncomfortable. Acosta is explosive, incredible on entry, deadly in short bursts. But tire management in long race phases is still one of his learning curves. Viñales? Tire preservation has always been one of his strongest weapons. He knows how to control degradation without destroying lap time. That skill is invisible on highlights, but it wins races when conditions change. So when you place a rider with elite tire control on a bike that already has raw speed, you are not looking at a midfield project. You are looking at a platform that only needs fine-tuning, not reinvention. And this is why Viñales winning on KTM is not fantasy. It is probability. He has already won MotoGP races with Suzuki, Yamaha, and Aprilia. 3 manufacturers, 3 different engineering philosophies. Very few riders in modern MotoGP can say that. If he wins with KTM, he becomes one of the rare riders in history to win with 4 manufacturers. Not hype, not reputation, adaptability. And adaptability is the most underrated survival skill in this sport. That is why the underdog label actually makes him more dangerous. Nobody is designing strategy to neutralize him. Nobody is politically blocking him. Nobody is protecting against his influence. While factories fight over future stars, Viñales operates in a gap, a space where results matter more than reputation. And riders who live in that space are unpredictable. Because they are not riding to protect contracts, they are riding to survive. So while the headlines scream about Marc's dominance, Pecco's redemption, Acosta's destiny, and factory market wars, something else is forming quietly. A rider with nothing to lose. A mentor who knows how to fight giants. A bike that finally matches the riding style. If that combination clicks, 2026 does not become predictable. It becomes uncomfortable. And MotoGP has always feared uncomfortable riders more than famous ones. Because 2027 is coming, and MotoGP does not wait. GP24 doesn't cover MotoGP. We document its wars.